Have you ever had that feeling like, where did the afternoon go? I mean, one minute you're looking at your to-do list, and the next thing you know, it's like 5 o'clock, and you're like, wait a minute, what have I actually done?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of time slipping away. I think it's so universal, and it's not usually these big dramatic events that steal hours from us. It's this constant kind of drip, drip, drip of smaller, often unnoticed things that really add up.
Right. And so that's what we're diving into today in this deep dive. Like all those sneaky ways that we lose time without even realizing it. So, think endless scrolling, that urge to say yes to everything, even when you know you should be saying no, all that kind of stuff. And our mission here really is to help you spot those time thieves. And more importantly, give you some actionable strategies to take back your day.
Yeah, let's kick it off with something that I think we can all agree on, right? Time, it's unique. It's the one resource you can't earn more of. I mean, you can't get back yesterday, that lost hour, it's gone. But here's the funny thing. We often treat this super precious resource with way less care than we would, our budget, for example.
Mhm.
And we end up kind of frittering it away, and sometimes we don't even feel guilty about it.
You're so right. And the sources that we're looking at today really highlight a bunch of these common time drains. The classic one, like getting sucked into the social media black hole. I mean, those dopamine hits really do keep us scrolling for much longer than we plan to.
Oh, yeah. And that reflex to say yes to every request that comes our way. It's almost automatic sometimes, and it leaves us zero time for the stuff that we actually want to be doing.
Right. Or that trap of overplanning, where you spend so much time kind of prepping and perfecting that you never even get started.
Yes, that's a big one. And we can't forget about multitasking, although I'm sure many people listening feel like this is like their superpower. The reality is, it's not as effective as we like to think. What's really happening is our brains are constantly switching focus, and that actually leads to more errors, and it takes us way longer to get things done, way less efficient than just tackling one thing at a time.
I feel like I need to take a break after just hearing that. And, another classic time waster I think a lot of people can relate to is waiting for the quote unquote perfect moment to start something.
Oh yeah, classic stall tactic. The truth is now is usually the best time to begin.
It's actually kind of frightening when you start adding all this up. The source we were looking at suggests that we could be losing like 2 to 4 hours every single day without even noticing.
It's a lot of time. Just imagine what you could do with those extra hours.
Seriously, I mean, a whole other you. So, okay, we kind of get the problem now, right? But what can we actually do about it? Luckily, the source actually offers some really practical advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start with the time audit. What is that all about?
Okay, so the idea is super simple, but incredibly powerful. So basically, for a few days, like 2 or 3, you track every single thing you do. And I mean everything. And you want to be specific, so instead of just writing like work, you'd actually write things like checked emails, worked on that project, fell down a social media rabbit hole. You get the idea.
Oh, I totally get it.
And the source suggests that categorizing your activities is where the real magic happens. For example, you might be surprised to see how much time you spend on just reacting to things versus being proactive.
Yeah, that's definitely a light bulb moment waiting to happen. Okay, so then we move on to the 80-20 rule. How does focusing on just 20% of our efforts actually lead to 80% of our results?
So think of it this way. What are the few crucial things that you do in your day, whether it's at work or in your personal life, that really move the needle forward?
Hmm.
Identifying those key tasks, the 20% that have the biggest impact, and really prioritizing them, it allows you to be so much more effective with your time. It's all about concentrating your energy where it matters most. So let's say you're launching a new project. Your 20% might be nailing down that core plan and the execution of it, not necessarily spending hours tweaking tiny little details.
Makes total sense. So really knowing what's important, setting clear priorities, that seems like the foundation for making that 80-20 rule work.
100%. Because those priorities, they become your filter. They help you decide where to invest your limited time and energy. And that naturally brings us to the power of saying no. It's like the source says it's all about protecting your precious time. Because every time you say yes to something that's not really aligned with your goals, it's potentially a no to something that really matters.
So we're tracking our time. We're homing in on what's important. We're learning to say no. So now what about managing our time in the moment? The source also talked about this thing called time blocking.
Right. So time blocking is all about being intentional with your schedule. It's like making specific appointments with yourself for certain tasks and treating those blocks of time like you would any other important meeting that you can't miss.
Okay.
And here's the thing. To really make time blocking work, You have to eliminate distractions. The source suggests things like using focus modes on your devices and even like deleting those apps that are constantly pulling you away from what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries with people so you can have some solid focus time that's also crucial.
So really, it's not about some crazy overhaul. It's these smaller, more mindful shifts
Yeah.
in how we think about and manage our time.
Totally. And the thing is, you have goals, right? Things you want to achieve. And being more intentional with how you use your time, that's the key to making real progress toward those things.
Absolutely. And the source finishes with a really motivating point, even starting small. Like with just 30 minutes of focused effort on a key task, it can build serious momentum.
Right. And that brings me to a final thought for you to kind of ponder.
Hmm.
What's one little time-wasting habit that this deep dive has maybe made you more aware of? And what's one tiny action that you could take today to reclaim just a little bit more of your very precious time?